Hello, hello.
Yeah, super, you get me?
Yes, I get you now, yes.
Mr. Momodu, Momodu still try for connecting.
Connect, yes.
The internet probably poor. But I think you got access, so I go left now, I go monitor from the background. Goodbye.
Okay then. Thank you. I think we're live now.
Yeah, you're live. You're live.
Yes. Family, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever on a day. And welcome to the program Insai SaLone Tiday. Now the then and now media empire where they broadcast live on Facebook. Today na Saturday, the 28th of November, 2020. Me, now na host and presenter, Mohamed Kamara, commonly known as Supermed. Family, first of all, I want to profusely apologize for the delay we don't get today for bring any show to una live. This is not due to technical difficulties. As I know, say this program can always cancel on 8 p.m. prompt UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. But today we get plenty technical difficulties where we don't manage to overcome. So one time, thank you for that. If I want to able patient and join me after time again. But before I go any further again, I want to ask you now for please continue for share this program. As soon as they see now, today I get a guest when a rounded up gentleman, very fine gentleman, where they look at things from so many different angles and the brain come to we go be the judges them. So the issues that today we'll get, this gentleman will can dissect them for we, and we go be the judges them in relation to the issues in there. But please, una continue for share. And una know say the festive season they come start, although this year the COVID-19 probably cover everything where they happen where it happen at 2020. When the majority where it happen, and we take God thank you, we tell Papa God thank you plenty one. We don't guide we and protect we, tell they can approach the festive season soon. So this particular platform, the then and now media empire, I want to tell you straight. Don't forget an anniversary broadcast where they watch out for that information day, because that broadcast they get for be a one in kind, get for be a very remarkable broadcast. This is the 3rd year anniversary of the then and now media empire. Inside this December, that broadcast they get for come to una live. We get for get some distinguished guests them, good people, and we get a thorough analysis of issues. We go come and deliver that particular program that day. But now just keep keep that space there, and definitely that information they go meet now as soon as possible. But I don't want to go any further again because we don't delay now. Time don't go. We don't go into the time too much. I want to bring come a guest. I want them a guest Insai SaLone introduce himself to una the people.
Yeah, thanks, my brother, again, man. I don't say with the struggle for get on this program, but in summary here, I cannot elaborate that much. My name is Momodu Mansaray. I live in London. I study criminal law and politics, and I just don't finish my LLM in international human rights and development. I work for the criminal justice system in the UK. I don't stay in this capacity now for 15 years. I get a lot of interest over Sierra Leone issues them. I don't write a lot of articles them across party lines, and both in terms of national issues, I hear within the criminal justice sector, Panemba Road issue number 1, and other areas as well of social interest. I hope say today's discussion could be a very entertaining one. What are they saying now? Not to gospel truth. What I for say, but now it matters where we all go digest together and apply common sense. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Momodu Mansaray. Like what he puts on so this we guest today now a very rounded gentleman, very, I mean, adjective is not there for describe him. Now, person where as soon as you get introduction now, it covers so many different areas, very dynamic. And we're very happy and we appreciate for getting at the platform today. So, Mr. Momodu Mansaray, you're highly welcome to the program Insai SaLone Tiday and the then and now media empire. Today, the issues that they can look at, Now plenty issues them where they happening in our country right now. But the question will not go for delay, they go straight to the issues. Mr. Mansaray, I mean, we'll see what's in be happen recently in our country. We choose somebody who get legal mind. We see the SEC invites the former president, Dr. Anes Baikoma, for an interview. We see what's in take place, the kind shenanigans that we go around in relation to how the people that were invites the former president conduct this whole thing where it creates plenty uncertainty in our country. In your legal capacity, you feel say the SEC could have done a better job for handle if they want to talk to the former president regarding any criminal matter or any matter, say they're going to handle better for them will get a coherent interview where no go bring come plenty ala in the country, plenty how they call it say sonko. You feel say the SEC could have conducted themselves in a much professional way, if I can put them so.
Thank you, Brother Ahmed, and really an important point you don't raise. So what I would like to say before I go further into that, now let we forget the legal side of things, because with the legal side of things, as long as you know get the facts, then clear it, the application of whatever theory here, methodology for approach and analyze them, you strain yourself. Yes, the key point we don't hit now, so now the conduct of the ACC. But what this don't tell we as Sierra Leoneans is now how divided this country don't be. Months before, the discussion was centered around is Sierra Leone going to be divided? Are we divided? Are we this? Are we that? I think that question, to be honest with you, and every Sierra Leonean now, both one in the home and one in the abroad, and they feel the pinch of that division there. We are divided down in political lines. We are divided in tribal lines. We are divided in regional lines. And this is not good for the country. I think all the steps then where the ACC been on, they take for bring the former president come and into question for matters then we them obviously within the mandate, within the remit, within the power for question that president there, for question the former president, then fail for apply within I start with here common sense. I think there would have been different way for handle listing without making it a national issue or without bringing too much political and attraction into this matter. So yes, the method is poor. The ACC, the way how they conduct themselves, no demonstrates as if now responsible institution there, where they focus on, actually we all live for fight corruption. We all want to fight corruption. Now a good cause they stand for. But you're right, the methodology is poor. And now, as recent as what happened last week or so, we don't know now, say, north, northwest, and western area, part of them, then they are one side. It's clear, it's obvious now. If you look at the south, southeast, and the eastern side, not so much of the east. We not test the east yet into matters of this. But if you look at what happened, the same time where Kuruma can a Freetown for can answer questions, then where the president never denies say no go do them, you know. But obviously, anybody who asks today, if they talk say, well, he's not above the law. But then they fail for ignore say the man in safety needs to be protected. Sierra Leonean safety needs to be protected. He is just not an ordinary man, as we all would think. Say like music also ordinary middle class worker. Kuruma is not that type. Whether we like it or not, he's not. He led that country. He don't change the economic face of that country. He don't change the social face of that country. They don't do a lot of things. So they're not just treat that as if that is street
Mr. Mansaray, before we go further for that particular side, because that side of the interview for CAM. But again, I want to zoom in into the SEC itself. the track record of the ACC. The ACC, we don't get big case them who we see we collapse before we hear. I remember I want to call your attention to the case against the minister, Mr. Timbo, when the ACC accused him, say, he squandered thousands of bags of rice where the Chinese government begin SaLone people them for when they go feed picking in a school. That case they then gonna court. Apparently the ACC decides say they're not going to tender, they're not going to present the evidence because they don't want a judge and jury case. They want a case where a judge no more for preside over them. Because of that, because of the money, all of them, the time, all of them don't spend, and all that rest, everything, that one case they collapse. Does that set a good precedent for let people them say, Sierra-Leoneans and trust the ACC say the ACC in itself a competent body for prosecute things like corruption when a big thing them in relation to SaLone economy and SaLone people in another country?
Yeah. Well, first of all, the South you begin about the ACC itself as an institution and where they refer about the track record. Let me draw a line here. First of all, if you take them from the time where this regime come into power onwards, then yes, and let not label too much about the previous ACC regime because it was governed by or administered by different administration. You are spotted on about the rice zaga here and also the way how they go about it. So that one area, Dandy, where completely the ACC is so incompetency and they don't work in the interest of the Sierra-Leonean at all. They don't work on that. And we go one for belief say the ACC should be staffed by people and we're not legally minded people and where they know what they do, where no matter what, test the case in a court. But you're not able to do them. Instead, you create a scenario here where go and give excuse because we're not able for and get a jury, and then we want let them test the case, but instead a judge. So that now one area that they will say, and it look fishy. The ACC behavior is fishy. The other areas then they, to be honest, if you look at the way how they deal with the teachers, Zaga here, you know, where they go parade in Panama Road, that was just completely uncalled for. That was, and that I hope, I really sincerely hope that that matter will not go unattended to whatever time at sometime in the future. Then therefore bring the authority into account here for go put people in publicly, my public place. SaLone be not turned as if you are found that a deviation of the rule of law or of the fundamental characteristics of where we law them in Sierra Leone say you are now found guilty before proven innocent, where actually it's supposed to be you are innocent until proven guilty. So then guy then they don't go face punishment at that court in 3 days for matters where they not test in court, where they're not given the opportunity at all. The ACC take an upon itself for put penalty. Well, I don't know if the ACC get the right for put penalty on people in way they suspect, or the court now is supposed to do that. So the matter should have been referred to court. The other thing here is put the teachers on aside. We will talk about track record of the ACC. There are matters of the 1.5 million of the
Chief Minister.
The chief minister. That matter it's dying down. But I hope say that matter they don't will ever die down. Let them lie low for now, you know, lie in case and lie in file. Let those matters lie in file until a responsible ACC come at one in the future. We will look into this matter and bring justice and serve justice to the people. So there are a lot of things that when the ACC don't prove to be really not competent, then track record is poor. I mean, the petty things that whatever they focus at more, where they bite the people every day and night. This, for example, I'll give you one story if I may. Yeah, where I listening to Sierra Leone issues them. These so-called traffic wardens, the way how they go about them business out of their mandate and then force people and for pay fines them, where they don't even know their responsibilities and then their roles in there, is just that it in itself corruption and a breach of the people and Sierra Leoneans and human rights, freedom to move and do what I want to go. Somebody go restrict your movement because you drive your car, they just stop you say, oh, by the way, that traffic light where you get here, now, the bulb don't fuse or so. Normally, common sense could tell you, say, well, what should happen is we warn you, go to the next garage, fix and place. And then if you don't fix that next time when they see you, we will levy fine. But even when they levy fine on those drivers, then, yeah, when they pay through the modern day mechanism today, for say you pay online in a bank, they don't have to read the confirm that payment day. They say, oh, no, you need for call head office. Head office go confirm it. But now you the me right now here. This member of the public call head office, then head office no pick him. He called 4 5 times, no pick him. Then the traffic wardens them, they go about go and stop other people, they don't clamp in Mutka. That it then matters than they ACC for able for focus on more because then they bite the ordinary Sierra Leonean. Then they bite the ordinary Sierra Leonean, and the consequences for this, I hope so we'll come to that at some point. It's very serious.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Momodu Mansaray. I mean, for your excellent answers then. And again, please, I urge people in the forum for me to share and make you get decorum in the forum. I see beaucoup comments some begin come up, but we encourage all contribution at this particular forum. We just want to get that decorum. They don't know result to attacking one another because the purpose of the this particular forum now for all Sierra Leonean, for there we learn for agree, for disagree peacefully, which is very, very important going forward. We don't look at the ACC. The ACC then track record, you don't highlight the issue them way and just accuse some teachers then go parade them na continuity. Where, I mean, we don't know that kind of law day, but nobody said law day in any country. Because anybody where you accuse for us, a competent court of law for fine and guilty before he pass verdicts, before he pass punishments, but before they go to him so that you don't abuse the person in human rights. Okay, then we don't see so many big cases then. Where we don't see where the ACC they investigate, we don't see them make any serious prosecution when they're successful. So are we within our right for say either the ACC is incompetent or they don't get the tools them where they need for able to do the job because there is something happening here where we never know exactly. Because like when you say the other people with legal minds would expect much from them. But since we don't see this new ACC they operate, we don't see plenty blunders. And government is spend plenty money per them case they are. Then none of them case are they be successful. And the only way, when are the ordinary people like the teachers, they will not get power, they abuse them, right them. So what now you take in terms of the competency of the ACC itself as a body?
I think the only way I'm able to summarize down there is the ACC don't turn a witch hunt institution. The ACC also, to be honest with you, they are selective in their way of doing things for whatever goals. I don't know. I'm not able to tell you that there because I know they're in there. But I can tell you, say, this is pure political witch hunting, if not other thing else. And the ACC, I will tell you this, they are fighting a lose battle, a lost cause here. And chasing an escoroma on matters about money launderings, when and now it come up, in fact, you know, about in time of office decision making or so, now I lost cause, to be honest. If ACC been put effort into the other issues and where we don't highlight now, i.e. the 1.5 million allegation, and they use the word allegation, and over the chief minister, if the ACC be not put effort into the Rice Zaga issue, the way out and they put effort into this Koroma in matter now, perhaps some people have been this, okay, let's look at things here. There seems to be some balance there, yes. Maybe there is some genuine cause here why make then they put all resources them into Koroma because we don't do in another situation as well. But no, we don't see that there. So the other way you could call them is witch hunting. And to be honest, down there, if anything, it just bring that institution there to a poor credible institution, you know, institution we nobody will take serious anymore. Maybe that the best way that I can put up, you know, and I try to make matters simple here. So the ACC, instead of them focus more and put their resources they wouldn't get, we always say the institutions in Sierra Leone, they're constrained by resources, either and technical issues them, manpower, knowledge, or other areas them. You must get one or two hiccups and they. But what then they do is then they select one case, make it a political issue, a national issue, and to be seen to be fighting this whole thing about corruption. We all want like corruption though. But as I've been cited to you, corruption, the daily, everyday corruption where the ordinary Salonian it affect them right inside, yeah, it feel them. The money we forget that most Salonians and they live by hand to mouth. Yeah. So the money where the Salonians and they get for go feed them family them and pay whatever and dues, watching due for their rent and other things them, the policeman they take them, or the traffic warden of all traffic warden don't get the power now for do that extortion. I call this extortion. So the ACC is not doing a good job. If they get the resources, then but they are not using those resources accordingly.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mansaray. Let's move away from the ACC now. What other thing back? But maybe this is also related to the ACC because now therefore they look at corruption. Because with the CC a very important rerun after rerun by election, they come up with a constituency 110. We know say that election will be happen where the lady when the opposition and candidates now be going to parliament. They then go to court and decide for rerun the election. And during that rerun election, they will see somebody when a minister, now this current administration, they're part of the people them we go destroy ballot material and one not pull in center. And that election is subsequently get to be annoyed by the former commissioner when Mr. Amfali Conte. Now we don't get new commissioner. This election will happen back sometime next month. What are you overall take in terms of the saga waiting on go on now constituency 110 in terms of election our country, credibility of election and ultimately credibility of democracy, and we get a lot for do with a stability, political stability in our country. What now you take on that all 110 election saga day?
You know what? I'm sorry for the people who they live in a constituency 110. They don't really they not get representation since this election saga been only go on, and which is bad. That's really not good. I don't know what can take this matter so long for real long by elections they have. But where it come from institutional corporations here, now they have been expect to see the electoral commissioner and the ACC for work together and cope what's happen, waiting the evidence. You see, most of them here so now evidence, they get for test in a court, yeah. But if they not make effort for bring them matters then they to the appropriate institutions then and then just let matters lie like that, then that's not fair to the people of who are affected. And constituency 110, it's really I'm sure the people who are there, even if the motivation been there for get trust in politicians there or get trust in the system, then they don't begin to fade. But the only person who will go responsible now the current administration, because here is the situation where even if now be allegation against that minister day or against anybody, we go vandalize and cause political violence and whatever also, let the matter go to court. We see what's in happen in America. Maybe I know we compare too much America because that one state now completely different political culture than get as with the practice with democracy. We're very young. So in terms of constituency 1-1, then are a really a bad situation here. How much now the lifespan of the parliamentarian, not a 2 years don't left, just about 2 years. I mean, 3 years don't go, they don't get representation. Waiting due them, they don't get them. The person who have been on the advocate for the parliament for highlight the issues that would affect the constituency, they don't get none just because the system not work, the system poor. And but this again, in as much as we go let for blame the court now a separate body where they just sit down until they bring the matter come before them. But then your role for Binombi for speedily look into them, make sure say the people in way then affected, then get justice and not for delay with that. So me on take about this, I hope say with the new boss within the electoral commissioner now, they get for prove your name, they get for prove whether what them they say about and the skepticisms where the opposition been get, whether it they live up to that or not. So this is not time for them for say, look, this job, I'm proud to taking this job. There has been a lot of problems there, Zaga, about my qualification, eligibility, and maybe experience here. But now my duty with this by-election for prove them wrong and make sure say what's in due to Caesar, give it to Caesar. Right. So my take for that, I just feel sorry for the people holding another constituency there because democratically here, they've been robbed of their own right.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mansaray, again. I mean, for that excellent response, because it's really unfortunate that what you say, what's happening in constituency 110 and the people who did it and disenfranchised them for so long. But again, moving forward, there are other issues where they, I mean, most people they comment about now social media, and that issue is about this worst result where come out. Now, recently in a SaLone Tiday in relation to them, people go sit worse. Plenty picking them fail. One picking all get for commit suicide day. And people in our academics, they don't go back, say, the system, you know, say where this administration can have power, then change the system. Because I think that first time I'll be 6, 3, 4, 4, where picking they take 1 extra year. Now they don't reduce that 1 year there, and then picking they go sit an exam equivalent to A level. They're not very prepared. And you know, somebody who also versatile at the academic field. What did he take in relation to all waiting they happen by this saga where they go on right down at the country and now plenty come out and feel very disappointed and disheartening for them picking them.
You see, I'm glad we bring that issue they come up, Mr. Moderator. What you know about Sierra Leone within this past 3 years here, I'm not going to talk beyond that because I don't get too much of that evidence, but the evidence I don't get us so far. And we authorities then seems not for take responsibility or I don't know how to put this, say, then they shift the blame to others them, then they feel say they are doing the job. They are not doing the job. This now a complete rubbish why the talk say the Pekin and Sierra Leone, they are focusing on social media and games or whatever thing that they play with, high tech. This that the reality in modern day life. This is not modernity. In fact, by blaming them, say that they spend time there and then they learn nothing, is wrong. Today, to be honest, there is like you one scenario here. A professor will go there from college, we not get used to, we don't know about laptop, we don't know about and tablet or so. You know mean say he is stupid. Now a professor, a clever, but perhaps in time, where you know get all the academic credentials, then you talk about Aristotle, you talk about Machiavelli, you talk about all them Augustus now, all the historians, then they not to IT business being there more into play here, but in modern day today, some of what they go for a higher institution, I just don't finish the LLM through online and lectures now because of COVID-19. So they move from a conventional style of teaching to a more other and adaptable one. So now good thing for them to pick it up for they get themselves associated with modernity, high tech of any kind. So by blaming them, say that they spend time there, now just the responsible and authority, they fail for take and blame also for say now the way how they administer the educational system, the way how then they run and things that are country all right. If teachers then they not get paid, they will not be motivated for deliver the goods. If Pekin and they then go to school, then they will get the right atmosphere. There is always that anxiety, that fear. The parent and I mean economically they bad. To be honest, now they don't produce anything good about education because first of all, the Pekin can forget the right atmosphere, the right ingredients them for deliver output. How can they justify and across West Africa, SaLone get the least and the other one then gets the best? Say there's differences in them picking and they in terms of what genealogy, in terms of what culture. Yes, culture we different, but to be honest, I just believe say we are all human beings are black and white. Not so we all get the caliber, yes, for make things, but and cut across in average here, SaLonian they are as intelligent as a Gambian, as a Nigerian, as a Liberian. So what you mean see now more now the authorities and they fail for take responsibility for their own failures then also. They don't fail the picking them, they don't fail the cumbra them. And this is one strong reason why actually I would like for support now demonstration on the 1st of December, because the issues they are just there, they are too much. This so-called when they talk about quality education, the evidence is not there. In fact, the evidence what they see now poor education, poor quality. Now the evidence that. So we can put all things, all the good words then now paper, black and white, you know, decorate them with all jargons then here, but the statistics not reflect that. The statistics is different. So this whole thing about the beginning of the academic output now SaLone, I don't want, I mean, the previous regime, they don't do their own best. If this regime come with intention for do them best, for do even better or even more than that, advance the stage, they will be not pay more attention into that. But they know just the talk no more, they need to do nothing. So now me take this that I think heads for rule, but the heads level for rule, they know one rule, then they shift the blame. Now the comrade, now the picking them, not technology, and then they play too much. Come on, picking them, we all play, but we take our education serious. So the minister actually where they in charge. Now info don't now info take responsibility for this. If there's some countries then where they really and serious enough about education, that minister if I don't resign, if I don't tender in resignation, because he hasn't delivered. The goods not reach, you know reach. It's just that it's too simplistic to shift the blame to the children saying that they cause the failure. Or that they cause every child when they go take exam, you want for pass. Every child. So that effort the child must make, you know, go don't study hard, where you go to exam all, you say you want for fail. And this told Tiwa area about say spy, no spy, no spy. Spy is not a good culture. Now any academic field. Plagiarism, of course, we all know that the advanced world are very strict and subject than the way they know they encourage them. So for go talk say the beginning any spy or so, you know, tell well. That means they tell me say the Pekin and Nigeria or Ghana or Usai say wouldn't get better grade now spy than spy. If they're done a disrespect to themselves, and I hope the Ghanaian go reply or the Nigerian they reply and tell and say, when I just fix my house in order. So not a good thing at all. And the Kumbrad and let them come on the first. If they don't want to come on for any other thing, let them come on the first for demonstrate against poor education in Sierra Leone. And this, they affect the leadership of that country there.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mansaray. Again, you don't highlight this issue, but this exam, because some people will say, if not the minister responsible, or then the immediate bodies them were responsible in terms of education, are they the teachers or the administrators, or who are the people them really all accountable in terms of this this dire situation, the dire results will come up for them picking Paris was results. Because this gets like when you talk about get plenty ramification. Most of them picking so if you not be careful will become dropouts, job not there and then a street and all and they know waiting will come up from and say no go good. So who are the people and because the issue role, people and they all for all responsible. But who are them people who go all really responsible? Because the minister they shift the blame now. But who are they and then below the ministers them very responsible for the education and the country.
Collectively here, now the government, collectively. Then if the government want to save their own soul and save themselves, say, look, okay, we got it wrong, but there is somebody we put in there that should have looked into this matter. Then the minister for take responsibility for this, right? Because the minister, he's the overall boss. Now, he is the strategist. It gets in lieutenant then around and where they help him, yes, but he got to look into all the plans that are the programs that are what they put for make education better than our country dey, and make sure say it's a smart objective, it's workable. If you're not workable, drop them. Look for another objective. Look for what's in the work. So the teachers then we go one for talk say, oh, now the teachers then they need teach, they need do this, they need do that. No, the teachers themselves not get incentive. If me they lecture, if me they go teach in a school, and then I they teach a class of Pekin away, they are half hungry. It unfair for blame the Pekin because one, the parent they're able to afford what they need, the stamina, the strength for pay attention at class or kind of school. Why the parent they're able to afford that? Because one, either they lost their job due to political victimization or that which completely another issue than they how that country they don't divide it now. So if the parent are able to make even the income what they're supposed to make for help them begin or themselves or create the environment, the atmosphere we conducive enough for let that begin pay attention to us, then to be honest, at the end of the day, there was a government elected, yeah. So that the responsibility than they. Then they at the rumor say then they provide feeding for the Pekin in our school or so, but the evidence not show that at all. So if the minister knows say that's not a program where they go on, but you know they happen some areas then, well, yeah, then there is a problem. And I can tell you the one example also. If you look at the statistic between the private schools them and the government schools them, the rumor what they get is the government school they all do bad. So look at the Pekin where they go to the private schools them and the Pekin where they go to the government schools them. The Pekin where they go to the private school and are those Sierra Leoneans who can afford it, and a small number of Sierra Leoneans them. And by the way, the middle class in Sierra Leone, they don't begin wake up. If we come to that topic there, I'll tell you about. But the small number of people that were able to send them Pekin in a private school, that the one that they call themselves elites now, then they exploit the system.
Okay, Mr. Momodu, let just hold you that quickly because this particular education topic is a very serious topic. On the government's own defense, the government will say education are collective responsibility. The students them, the parents them, the teachers them, the whole community, they are all stakeholders per education. So if this education, then people are able to do well, so all of them people are so contribute one way or the other for many people not able to do well. You go buy that particular argument there?
No, I need to buy that particular argument there. Me as a parent, no go don't spend 10 million euros per year for sponsor me picking in education. Then I want but yet I want let it fail. No, I don't go do that. The primary responsibility of the parent now we come by education. Now for them picking excel, now for them do well, now for them sport time. And by the way, when they talk about education, and not just me, no one say the classic education when they talk about for going to university, for going to college or so. There are other different spectrums and areas them where you look at now where you can explore your skills them. It can be sport, it can be engineering, it can be all those other things that way and now they you talent today. But most of them, to be honest, they are so underfunded today that the motivation set no day for the person we want for go do we want for become a footballer, person want for become what you say a comedian becomes a comedian, person want for become other things. So all anything and day now it means where now life skill for the person we're interested and for let society proud of you in the future. So the Kumbra them are not things that there is anyone we want for let them begin fail at school. The system is not working. And who they control the system now the government. Who the government put for let control the system now the minister. So if the minister not do if you're not doing job, plus the other stakeholders they wouldn't do it, regional supervisors then also, let heads roll. Now the responsibility. Let heads roll. I don't want to shift this problem to the teachers then and not to the parents then. Because the teachers then, if they're not getting incentive itself, you know, and they're not paid then also. To be honest with you, we all get for leave. But yet we see government spend money in other areas that we need to priority. But yet then they talk say education in a priority with the spend money there. How many Prados they don't don't buy? How many money you don't lose now some coffers them? The suppression of and commission of inquiry into other areas that we government suspected, where they suspect government for mishandle, embezzle money, all those things. To be honest, if that be a responsible government, transparent government, they're not for the suppress the area then be.
Well, okay, there's another argument here. Like I say no more. We go for watch me at this particular platform, very, very objective. We'll let people know that we they ask the question and we're relevant. We they talk about issues that we're relevant as objectively as possible from different angles. And we guess they get their own views. We say get we own views. We own views now for bring SaLone together and make sure say SaLone move forward. That's now your aim. Now make we snap around for bring the issues them to the people in. Now the government they say back say the education problem now put up on there years back. The previous government did not do well by education. Then one can do something, they don't bring this free education. So these are all teething problems. Is that another strong argument when the government will make for Kamara and picking and they like say we face this serious problem? They call this no more. Plenty people don't fail this was so then parents don't know get for pay for the game private for 6 private was. And who said they go now for go find job, who's historical for that education? There's nowhere. So most of them people go for come begin to learn left now street, some they go do after, some end up for be Okada driver, some and all kinds of things they happen for them picking there. So going forward. So again, that particular excuse where the government say education we don't over the years, the previous governments were responsible, then they particularly for sort them out, and these are teething problem who for expect them. What you take in relation to the argument today?
Well, this is it again, right? These are the evidence where they should say that they shift responsibility. Then they fail for take and blame for failures. Them. This okay, yeah. Education beyond the get problem prior to them coming into power. But let's be honest there. SaLone don't go through a reform of the educational system from what you mean where we will be to go school, where you reach class 7, then you go take that selective entrance examination also. Then change that to 6334 system. 6334 system, now a good system, by the way. I mean, I didn't mean to my guy with them, they try to roll out that program there. All within this government for Binondo, if they no say there has been gaps them in there, all that too bad, what they mean say education non bad of Nasralio. Therefore, we don't look into certain area of the educational system, prioritize the and put more investment there, address the issues than for just say it's too simple for just say, well, the problem we don't deal now. So anyway, and at the previous administration, now you're responsible. Hey, how long you continue for shift this blame to the previous administration with they're not answerable again? All along all the talks to now, so without the point finger pound, now the current administration, because it don't gain a power reasonably 3 years here, there must have been some changes. There must have been some way how they go implement the address the situation for make it better. But if they not do that, they continue for shift the blame to the previous government. Well, I wish them good luck, because at the end of the day, the people and where they are, the SaLonians them who they are affected, now they get for decide whether they will continue for them with a regime where a blame shifter, or a regime where they put their hands up, say yes, sorry, we make mistake, we don't identify the problem, we rectify them, we correct them. So that culture of shifting the blame, it just done too much to the point now, SaLonians, they need buy that anymore. They need buy that because it not get foundation, it not get no merits there. The problem they happen at your foot. When I don't count, I don't talk about free education, quality education, and that will deliver them within a certain time frame. But yet, now the contrary people in the sea. So that shifting of the blame in all water.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mansaray. And like I said, on this platform, we objective, we bring out the issues and to the best of our ability, how we see them. And we don't put the question to we guest today, and it don't come up with very, very salient answers them in relation to this education problem in our country. We always sympathize with the students, with the Kamara, where them people don't fail today this was exam. This was exam, a very, very important exam because it almost equivalent to that A-level role they take first term. And a big exam is very important because then that exam they take pikin and go university. And it's very sad for see so many pikin and fail. Now the one old country where even one pikin kill himself. Really, really unfortunate. But don't move on, Mr. Mansaray, because we don't cover this topic. People them or family them go make up their mind in relation to this particular topic. But again, one thing where I want to zoom in, because in democracy, we believe say when they say democracy, you for allow let different views they reign. The idea for say when you there in governance, you for use your power for muscle people them when are your opponents and people will not support you. That when they make let the democracy done in your country. We know say then Western country and many countries the way we sabi around the world. Even some countries in Africa, they like today, the opposition and get rights for view and concerns them. Now I mean they call them opposition and they hold the government accountable. But what do they see recently in our country, Sierra Leone, is that there is an attempt where plenty people don't say for Muslim people and where they talk something where government not like. And we don't see plenty people that arrest them, then lock them, left them, do all kinds of things. Is this good for democracy? We are for constantly the old people them where who feel say they not agree with we because we didn't have government. And that one day good for portray with democracy, like saying that where they go now democracy will fit for the 21st century, where we partners and go look at we and feel proud, say yes, then people are practice true democracy.
Thanks for bringing this up. I think a very sensitive topic done again. But Usa would like to start with this. I want to pay a special tribute or respect to the people and way they may not die for democracy in our country day. And especially so at the end of the war, where people stand hard against Fode Sanko, where they may not say enough is enough. With all the privileges that would have been given, I don't know, say the street na Freetown or so, and it been try for undermine democracy where people then come on at the street and say, you know what, we don't fed up now. It just don't do. And and the people and die. And I think for me, in the history of Sierra Leone, modern day Sierra Leone, that was the birth of one of the principles of democracy in Sierra Leone. Because people then come out, they fight hard, they make sure say that was the end of Fode Sanko, and that was the beginning of a new era of political freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of culture, freedom of all what in democracy stand for. It's unfortunate that after all those years, subsequent president, they don't come, they don't go, then try to maintain the peace. Credit to Tijan Kaba, credit to Koroma. And for a regime for come now and begin to do things there as you describe, one for repeat now, most will think them, it completely go against them people and they which they fight for. We'll all call them with brothers and sisters that would have been killed at that time. And may their soul rest in peace. So the cause of them been fed for, if we see that cause they undermine that cause they now, this current government they undermine that cause they not tell well at all. I think the problem now so is Sierra Leoneans then get for stand up, Sierra Leoneans then get for not in a violent manner, in a peaceful manner. Democracy is all about peace. We they see what's in happen in other countries then, and by the nature of things itself, you feel the pinch every day. You get for fight and stand up for your right. And what would happen also? The judicial system, what we all look forward to, in itself corrupt. But to be honest, the judicial system and the court system, particularly here, they would always sit there until the matters reach them or adjudicate. But yes, we don't know. Say now, most of them they are corrupt, and they undermine the democracy way with people are not fed for. So for a government like this, the Muslim people, right? And in international law, I don't even quote word for word, waiting the great scholars them and then advocate them of the Human Rights Convention and the 1948 Convention at Geneva, where and say, no matter what the situation is, no matter what, all personnel and security personnel them and the government of the day for make sure say they don't go beyond violating people their rights in the interest of bringing and stabilizing any riot, any situation I wouldn't describe as security matters or so, then get for tread on a very thin line for make sure say they don't cross the line for going to violate people their rights. So that the day it's known that they then get to be careful and make sure say people don't get right for demonstrate. Even though when a corona be non come, yeah, then go impose what you call it, a state of emergency. We up till now, my brother, the law talk through within the state of emergency. Waiting at the look at the figures them of one who infected with corona in Sierra Leone and the consequences, the impact, one who they know that. Does that warrant state of emergency? No, that dictatorial system now they see. A system where would they see now anytime the government want to achieve their own dodgy business, then they use the excuse of we are on a state of emergency. But for put a commission of inquiry into place for look into money embezzlement will relates to corona. Then again, anything for the state of emergency? I don't think so. So this culture of witch hunting, political violence, and marginalizing one region over the other, or looking at one set of group against another set of group and prioritize them in terms
But Mr.
of...
Mansaray, before you go further, now that the next several one can, because recently we see the president when at the Fountain of Honor, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, when a President Madabio be going to Kailaon, he make a statement where he try for talk say the Kailaon people and they no more this that way. Many people, I don't know if you see that statement, many people feel say that statement was very, very divisive. Because in the president, in the Fountain of Honor, now for the bring kind of people together, not for say that party no can look after and we no more naya or the people in the over that like that it creates a scenario of us and them. The people in can say very, very divisive, and there was many debates going around that particular speech where the president making a Kailaon. What are you taking in relation to that particular speech to what you be talk so Gigi Snow?
Yeah, you see, and not a very sensitive issue you bring up. I think we'll begin this discussion also. I talk about the issue of how divided that country they don't do now. That it's no longer the question about whether it's divided or how divided and whether the division is ongoing, but it's divided. The country is divided now, and the president himself don't underline that by a kind of statement the way they make, the kind of actions them, the kind of things and what would they see. Like you feel evidence then now because you find for the back then here with evidence. Although this, as I say, they are subject to testing then at court. Look, if we see now one of the powerful institutions in the country, when at the military, we understand saying that 8 brigades there in Sierra Leone. 7 of those brigades are commanded by one set of ethnic group, right? Right now the top. Now they're in charge, decision making, whatever. That's not create any balance of power. Then, as recent as few months or just weeks ago, we did get rumors say, again, I use rumor because I'm not privy to the document yet, say they recruit about 74 cadets then. And out of those 74, 53 of those cadets them, now from one ethnic group. Then you get the 21 from the different various ethnic groups then. And even that 21 day, it also divided by sectionalism, regions. So now make a fact, just for the audience then, I hope so, I still do me research on exploring how that country they don't divide it now and the consequences then I have and how we will ratify the problem. Are they can look into that. So you see if there is division also they take place now institutions them and other areas them of very sensitive to Sierra Leone. I think say we just get for agree now say, if you're not Northwesterner, you're not Northwesterner. If you're not Southwesterner, you're not Southwesterner. The two areas then which I describe as a salad bowl more, one area, now Freetown. Freetown, we all there, and I describe Freetown as a salad bowl because everybody did it. We all, now they are the economic powerhouse, now they are the political powerhouse. How we get for manage then they, and they hope to not go reach that level there. But for the government, for the president for going on one side of the country and alter statement like that, and they, by rights, he can say anything he want for say, but say something responsible. Say something whether they divide the country. Even though bitter as it was the American election, the guy where win, Joe Biden, he's now bent in unifying that country there. You know, so that we are politically divided, and it was a bitter division here. So if Madabio maybe recognize this division since we take power to now, and it is instead it perpetuate the situation or exacerbate the situation more, then it's bad. It's bad. The country is divided. The country, we don't need academician for tell me anymore about we are leading to a division. We just need academician for tell me now and say how divided we are. And some of we know already. And then whether in employment, and then whether on political lines or regional lines.
Mr. Mansaray, hold you now quickly because you know I like the issue. They are a very, very serious issue them for we country. I believe say we USSF they feel very, very sad about the issue there. So if you're to advise the government, this current administration, the SLPP government headed by President Bio, what are the steps away if you say the government for take for remedy the situation so that things will move forward in a more cohesive manner in our country, Sierra Leone?
Looking at all the factors, then I would discuss the issues there, and in particular, this whole subject we talk about division now, we don't take place in our country there. One, if me, they advise the SLPP government, I mean, what I say now, as not, you know, go be gospel truth is subject to criticisms. I know many people get for come, agree or disagree with me. But the first thing we then get for look at now the leadership and the government. The leadership get for reflect in itself and acknowledge, say, what's going on here is not right. And then get for take a bold decision by acknowledging those issues, not just about employment or so, but there are a lot. The Panemba Road issue, the McKinney issue, the Tombo issue, the issues then about political violence or so. You get for take a brave leader for stand up to Sierra Leoneans them and apologize, not only apologize, but also suggest a new way forward. So, but if we're not able to see Dandy, since we then some of them bad things so they happen in our country today. I know one day the president come out and say even a single word towards the line of acknowledgement or apology. The worst thing is he is gone into record for exacerbating the situation more, i.e., he don't brand the opposition as a terrorist group. That's not helpful. So the first thing, as I say, the leadership get for improve, the government get for take a bold step for acknowledge and also take responsibilities there for all the wrongful doings them, including the killings them. And they're not for just stop there, therefore also move on for say, look, we will ratify the situation I have. Marabio, particularly these tours the way they make, it get for take bold decision and strike a deal with the stakeholders then each region now of the country now for say, look, yes, we put we hand up, we take responsibility for what don't go wrong, but we don't realize it, this country that we all own. This country, we win a salad bowl. We get one bowl, we all live inside it. We don't intermarriage. Some of we get cousins them we are from different ethnic group. Some of we get property then a different side of the country. So it don't make any sense now for replicate what in Rwanda do and what they happen also today in Ethiopia, some parts of there, you know. So I think say first of all the truth get for come out for less Sierra Leoneans and appreciate. And to be honest with you, Sierra Leoneans them, we are so religious that if you come out openly, accept your responsibility, then put God before, Salinas and they already forgive you. But I don't mean say, and then when you come by competition, forgiveness that they reflect, they know. What are the time for saying is that when you don't ask for forgiveness, you don't try to put things in order. If you come by political election, let Salinas then vote with their conscience. The party wouldn't believe in.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Mansaray. And before you go further, I want to hold you back for that talk over they talk about that school business. Because one part me guest at the chat room, Mr. Amara say the all say way highlights some private school not get and they feed them picking them all and they say that they pay the teacher them regularly. He says so the problem of education here, so it then at the hands of the teachers them and the parents them. He said not to talk for politicize. He said that it then at the hands of the teachers them and the parents them for prepare the picking them well so that the picking them will do well at the exam them. So what now you take in relation to what's Mr. Amara in comment?
Mr. Amara, a good point to make. But the teachers are under supervision here. And do I know they supervise the teachers them, then get people to supervise them as well. Now in hierarchy. So the instruction they come on from above. Yes, it's good for compare for say, do I know they go to private school, they know they feed them picking also. But then picking they know they go to private school and come on a wealthy background. Then come on a background where not a caution, forget bread and breakfast and money before you go to school. Some of them, they even work out for going out in private schools. The driver they carry and go, the driver they bring and come. So the atmosphere is so conducive for them for make the learning and they achieve their learning goals. Then, so compare that with government school where, as we've been say, the teachers them. I don't know if instruction and they pay the teachers them, but ain't no teacher no will go to that classroom day. We instead not get embellen or flop for go to map they talk they teach mathematics, English, chemistry, physics, government. The motivation not there. Go day. And not for talking about for the picking subset where they teach that enable get meal before you can at school or breakfast before you can at school. So if Mr. Mara let him look at this in a broader context. Wherever he did, if I no say now any advance or we go like for put Sierra Leone as a growing democracy, advancing democracy, not advanced, but advanced. We are getting there, and if we get there, then we practice the culture of what in democracy say. If you don't do wrong as a public figure, step down, give chance. So what's wrong for letting the minister take responsibility? Say the instructions that were in the past, not just there enough for let them go they drive and up and down the country. They go and decorate and say, I'm the minister of education. I'm the minister of this. Talk big English and get allowance system.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mansaray. Again, I think say Mr. Amara don't get that information there. Then there's a question here or a statement from Mr. Ibrahim Sise. I don't know if you agree with him. He said the SFPP government are not ready to stabilize the country for many years to come, while unpicking 50 out of 73 officers to people with them facing at the ethnic region as you described just now. So what are you taking in relation to Mr. Ibrahim Sise's statement?
Well, I agree with him completely. What I would like to add to that is that the risk voting that pose. Let me say so if this situation they continue, it bring division. Now institution of the army of that nature, people who they play with gun, people who they play with when are skillful people in violence. They are violent. They are trained to cause violence, destructions. Now, yeah, you go only push a small minority of them to a certain degree, and then lost control. But put that aside within the institution itself, how comfortable would I be if me a local man for any of the institutions that want to go to Sierra Leone for go get service, state service? Anybody who I meet there, now the same tribe, they're all, how comfortable would I be? And if I go there, the attitude itself not conducive. Suppose it reach a point where I hope say over my dead body, that not going to ever be. That okay, look, we don't do all these things now. What do they do? Would they use one ethnic language now in Sierra Leone as the official language? And also no go reach that side. But now the extreme example I give you so no more. For say now, okay, now all Mendes and they now key areas they now. So let me also introduce this concept of If you know the talk Mende, you have for you get government service. You get for talk Mende. What? Then not a good, democratic society down there. Go tell well. So I agree completely with me, man, that this whole thing, not just na the army, but na the police and other institutions, then for let one tribe dominate the others, them, you will only do that to a certain degree. And one thing I would like for say now, if the middle class of Sierra Leone, they don't begin get fear of their safety, and this is a theory they tell you, fear of their safety, and that safety they lead to frustration. Then that frustration, the next way they lead to now a complete loss of hope and aspiration. And when nobody don't get hope and aspiration now in life, the worst way they think about now violence. What am I living for? There's nothing. And now any society, we will do sociology, no say the middle class now then gets the key to the success of any revolution or not. I know they call for revolution, I want to let them get this me right. I'm not calling for it. But analytically here, if today the middle class mostly now the small between the upper class and the lower class now the broad spectrum of the people, and then they take then at the broad, the bigger picture of society. If then they try for push for change, if the middle class not join them, it not going to be effective. But the day the middle class they join them, it will be more effective, and it will lead to a successful revolution. And that would not begin see. Because the middle class in SaLone today, they don't begin to become aware and rise up from what they hear. And the middle class call them the teachers them, na Sierra Leone. Call the other one the way they earn basic medium income salaries them, business people them. Not to the ministers them way the moment you don't take office, you don't see a loophole for corrupt and take money, and automatically then they don't put them in that bracket of elitism and also economic power. And then they bad.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Momodu Mansaray. Like we are saying, I'm glad you don't talk about plenty issues again today. And again, we apologize to the audiences them because we had so many technical difficulties for start. That make we overrun even now for make sure so we're able to cover the time slots where we don't schedule for this particular interview. And again, when I views them and comments here, all welcome at this platform. Like all they say no more. This platform now for all Sierra Leoneans, we look at issues them objectively and talk about them to the best of our ability, and left and Lona be the judge. This particular platform, the Dead and Now Media Empire, will soon celebrate in 3-year anniversary since when this platform now begin broadcast. So Sierra Leoneans all around the world, and Sierra Leone as well. We got people that list me from America, from Europe, from China, from Africa, from all over the world. We don't contribute plenty one. And for this particular anniversary, and as we know, first we get big celebration, but now because of the COVID, we can no longer do that. So what we do now like a massive broadcast, where they get plenty Sierra Leoneans will come and talk about issues. And this trip we zoom topic into social media, how social media don't revolutionize the communication system for we in the one world, and moreover, that we come on Sierra Leone and Africa. So that could be the topic. Now watch out for that. We'll bring kind of information later now in due time. But definitely inside December, we'll get plenty things for now. So now stay tuned to this particular platform. And as a means for round up now, because we come to the end of this particular program, like again, we really appreciate you guys. We don't talk plenty things. And Mr. Momodu Mansaray, for make you wrap up this whole program, waiting at the team them, what you feel say this current administration, Sierra Leone in general, all the other opposition party them, for able to for rescue, for remedy the situation, because like what they talk so right now, we get their economic situation as well now the country. We will not talk about safe. The political situation not good. The law and order situation not good. The ACC where we know what we feel say go champion corruption seems somehow a little bit incompetent, for put it mildly, and so many other issues. So what's in your own advice generally for what are your prognosis and solutions for deal with all the myriad of issues there? So I like to all talk about today in English as well again, not forgetting education again, not the country.
Well, yeah, I'm glad where you bring this come up. In the first place, the institutions then also within the country, they have to be set right. I don't want to talk much about the opposition because one, it would be unfair for holding accountable for any maladministration when they go on within the office, and also the other political parties them. But one thing I would like for saying also is the institutions such as the ACC, they forget their priorities and right. They are making a mistake by focusing on the big fishes and leaving the little ones, the sardines, where then they go and cause pollution. Then they undermine this regime to the highest degree. Especially the security apparatus, we don't see outside the forest guard and test the water, clash with police officers them, just because one institution want to establish power over the other. And because what's in cause then I get linked to the head, to the boss, the big boss. So ACC get forget their priorities and right, and ACC get for no say they are fighting a lost cause against Anes Kroma. It's not. It's really not good, to be honest. Then get more. They put more resources than into the issues that would affect Trilonians and every day. So the leadership therefore reflect on itself. There has to be a time where you go, where you for sit down and evaluate yourself what you don't achieve independently from the advisors. Then what they tell me. The advisors, they don't forget to be all, we get we own interest then and which we'll want for pursue we own agendas then But you as a leader, the reason why I make you be a leader now because you get the capability for let you sit down, you think, you reflect on the good things and on the wrong things then and try to put things into correctly, into right. So I think we economically now, so we know that things don't go right. In terms of justice, things don't go right. The political prisoners, the mob justice culture, the bullying of opposition leaders, the rounding up of other people and way, yes, they say they don't abuse them because they feel that they're right for saying, then they are not good. Then there are simple things and that in the way any leader for try for look into and address. Let it look at the region. Which I attempt don't they for muscle out your way and for established power, the consequences that we see them today. And what I would like for say more, there is going to be a new world order. There has been a new world order before post-Cold War, but this new order what they described, so the isolationist culture where America been happen under Donald Trump, it's not going to be the order where they can live on for the next 4 or 5 years under the new regime. So there is going to be leadership accountability for which this regime get for begin for look into and let them put. That means if they want to succeed, if they don't want to succeed, they can as well go on and do what they do soon. In a matter of time. Australians and they will exercise patience, come the day for the ballot, and then decide stay. And at that day, the Australians and go see whether the stakeholders and the moral guarantors them, then they know what they happen there for let them and conduct free and fair election, or at least fair election, even if you're not free. Yeah. So this government therefore begin for think whether they want the status quo for continue or let not continue. But the fact is now is the division, it don't take place. So they therefore reverse that situation. If they want let that country to be stable, progressive, economically, socially, and culturally. And all these stringent laws they wouldn't go and put. Them bylaws then to be honest, I don't blame more of the president, but I blame parliament. Because them bylaws they know they produce anything good other than corruption, distortion, and mafia. So if for me, I wish this government the best of luck, but for let them put things correctly.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Momodu Mansaray, for your excellent contribution we don't make today. I believe say Fambulem don't benefit a lot to what you tell them today. And again, this before I forget, I want to inform you, I said tomorrow, this same time, 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we get the CEO and founder of this platform, Mr. Prince Emil Kroma, with a program where they look at corruption with the ACC as well. They get plenty details. And and a calling program as well. So ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow now ready on our phone them for calling, for sharing our views and comments, and all welcome. Like how they say, this platform is very, very open and objective. We got people as far as Australia, right? I want to join me. I don't know, Vivid Tonka, all the way from Australia. So many other people what I'm joining with you. One time, thank you. Today, we had so many technical difficulties, but we go around them and make sure say we broadcast on now. Now that's we always known for on this platform. Whatever hurdles we face, we do we utmost best for make sure say we can't on and share the views them and bring come people them where the people them of reputable characters them, where they come and dissect issues them and bring and come to una from their own point of view. So I make we say even most of the time we don't call in many people from the ruling government, the SLPP government, for Canada this platform. This platform is always open to them as well. They say he come and challenge some of their issues they are so. If they so wish this platform there for all Sierra Leoneans, like he come and challenge them and go get a discussion. Yeah. Now this platform is a very civil platform. We they always agree for disagree peacefully because we are all Sierra Leoneans, we all are one people. Always we they seek now for sister Sierra Leone prosper, Sierra Leone do well. Again, we will continue for tell people them take it plenty, and people will go for subsequently watch this particular program here. We will turn again plenty. Thank you. And again, don't forget for go subscribe now YouTube page. We get plenty videos and plenty interviews. This platform don't exist now nearly 3 years. So for 7 months now, this particular administration kind of governance, now this platform this platform we don't day even before this particular government kind of governance. We done dissect issues long ago. So now go on our YouTube page, now subscribe, now we'll see plenty of videos then. And plenty to we don't do for all people in power accountable. Like what they tell them, we do utmost best for promotes peaceful and cohesive dialogue between Sierra Leoneans for the betterment of Mama SaLone. If I reach here, I want to tell me guest again, Mr. Momodu Mansaray, special thank you, plenty thank you for the contribution, for the point of view, the way don't bring cancer in our ability, say plenty of we appreciate them. God bless them. God bless all who guest them, and also God bless for peaceful and wonderful country, Sierra Leone. Now, thank you and tata.
Thank you, Mr. Host. Thank you very much, Mohamed.